I guess I should say good evening for everybody, or good day. We are in the middle of the day. My talk is about the woman balance careers and personal life in Bahrain. It's an exploratory study. It's a study that basically we are continuing on this study. And this is one of the studies, but maybe the women councils will be more interested in it because it reflects some of the research activity we have with regard to women. We all know that basically globally and locally that women is playing a big role. They have proven themselves. There is a lot of impressive story. We personally in Ahliya University, we have the woman is in it leading positions. That's a great example. Personally, on my personal life, I'm married to a very successful woman. That's a great news. The question is not what the woman can do, but is rather how she can balance her lifestyle. And the important things is to look at is the enjoying the work and enjoying their life. And when we look about their life, we look at also the people who are involved with them. Husband, children, working environment, colleague, all that. In reality, working women is expected to play a lot of role. One of the roles is basically is to be a caring wife, devoted mother, and is also committed employee. So it's a job that not everybody can do. Now, when it comes to women, those who don't work and they see that they have a potential to work, basically they have the element of guilt. And because they are not able to pursue their dream and their ambitious dream. Now, when it comes to balance, it's basically it's interpreted differently by different people. It's an equation that each one of us is looking at it differently. What you want from each dimensions and components. And if you look here, is basically there is a multiple dimensions. And one of the dimensions is the family, career, health, friendship, balance, and life. And empirical study is basically suggesting that when you have a very good, healthy balance, is going to contribute to the well-being of the woman. It will also increase their personal satisfactions and also going to impact on their family and the organization they work. Now, woman is always in a position to hold multiple roles, and that is basically women learn how to adapt with the situations. And they have a great skills by continuous learning and adapting to their environment, to their situation where they are. So anticipating the role of a woman in specialty is basically giving the woman is more to be more happy at work, reflecting on the reality that a majority of the women in Bahrain, they work, and also they are also part of this world, which there is family, career, children, and also work. We look at the interest of conducting a study to look into the insight of women at workplace in Bahrain. Now, if you look at the general literatures, they tell you about 85% of the women enjoy working because they have financial independence, they basically being a good role for their family and their children. 80% feel that they have no time to spend with their family. 77% feel that they are very stressful and under a lot of pressures to meet their ambitions, dream. 60% feel that they are guilty, not having enough time to spend time with their children, especially when it comes to school activity. Now, by doing so, there are an element of factors when it comes to woman life. And one of them is the guilt. Women will always, like also men is also here now these days, is basically have the components of the guilt. They feel guilty when they are really away from their children. And also that guilt translates in 83% of the women, they feel they are very guilty when not attending their school children. Another factors is basically the factors of culture and society. The culture is basically putting a lot of role and pressures on the woman. They're expecting from the woman to be a devoted wife, a devoted mother, great mother. At the same time, the society is basically has a culture, and then a culture is basically, as in the Arab world, expect from the woman really to put the family up front and really to care for her children and that. But remember, at the same time, she is a human that she have to prove in herself and become very successful in the society. So Arabic women is really have a passions and ambitions to become always successful in their work. And really the numbers reflect that the truth in our society, that woman has really progressive. And it's a great research idea is that which is we look at how much is the achievement of women in the last 10 years in Bahrain, comparably to different women in different parts of the world. We're going to recognize that basically there is a great achievement rate when it comes to women in our society. Ambitions. Napoleon explained the terms of ambitions, says a great ambitions is the ambitions of a great characters. All of us wants to be an ambitious people. They want to have an important role. They want to play an important in the society. So here is another factors also beside society, guilt, and ambitions are factors to deal with organizations, organizational factors, family support, the role of the husband, and also co-supporters, the colleague in the work, and the nature of work that people work, whether it's a flexible or it is shifts. And the other one is the organizational cultures and policy. Now, when we look at that, we see that today women are more likely to work in an organizations where they are flexible. They have flexible hours. They look into the children. They have a children facility, and also they have a job sharing. And taking all this in consideration, maybe I could say that it will be a good idea in this part of the world. We consider other element where we look at the flexibility of hours for the woman. In terms that we look at, more of a part-time maternity leaves and ensuring the woman her job rather than giving right away she goes. Now, when we look at the benefits, these are the benefits the organization can have. And the organizations, once they balance woman balance life, work-life balance, you got to have more productivity, low turnover, less absentees, less stress, high committed, the cost will be less in healthcare because it's due to some illness. At the same time, when it comes to the family aspect benefit, you're going to have women can apply their skills at home, what they are really achieving from work, because they are achieving a lot of skill. They bring it to home as a good role model for their children. Also, they are able to balance between work and family, and also attend children, and also be a positive working in the environment. Now, this is a good book. This is one of those books that basically I could recommend for you. It's written by Molly, and it says the author of the book, the title of the book, Stop Living Your Job, Start Living Your Life. And in this book is listed the biggest challenges that are faced by women today. And now the top challenge is a time management. And if you say that, what woman says, 39% says that the top challenge is a time management. The second challenge is being organized. And the third is a financial pressure. And the fourth is basically lack of energy, emotional management, children. And number 7 is the ability to say no. That's a challenge number 7. When I could say as a person is no. Now, if you look at these are in a descending order, and basically when another survey based on our literatures by race, and basically when a woman were asked, what do you really like about job? What is the greatest things you like about working? Now, 84% says we love the job because we're working with innovative people, smart people. And 80% mention that being better role models for their kids because it's the reflections. And also 62% said having a career that was it's worth to have it. And 58%, around 60, said financial independence. When the same group of women we ask, what do you really least you find it great about working? Now, time, not having enough time, that's 81% in the day. Feeling the stress because you have a lot of things on your plate. And 71% feeling pressurized while attending work and family needs. 66% not being able to spend time with family. Now, this is the literature review, and this is a theoretical matrix of the literature review. From the literature review, there are a couple studies, and these are the most important. And these are the factors that we have looked at: guilt, cultures, ambitions, narrative barriers, organizations, and career. Now, as a result of that, a conceptual model has been developed for this study. And the conceptual model is very easy to be explained. These are factors, and these are organizational factors: work profile, family, husband, the role of the husband, and also the demographic profile of the woman and the man, and basically personal life. All these factors will lead to a job satisfactions, which in turn will lead to a quality of time with the family and a personal time. Now, upon that, it will lead to work-life balance, and once you have a work-life balance, you have a happy woman. And if you look at this, we have conducted the study, and the study is conducted on, there was 218 females, all females. Frankly speaking, there was some males, so we took them away from the study because we were very focusing on the females. I'm presenting for you the finding in a very simple terms, and I don't want to take you into graphs and other things, but I thought this is the best way to present it. From the 218, basically the gender, of course, 100% is female. The age is of this study, 83% is below 37 years old. And the nationality is 92%. So strictly you could say this is the study is a Bahraini national, ladies. And 40% were married. The age of the marriage is basically 70%, between 20 and 25, and this goes along with the finding of the woman consuls. This is true that the woman in Bahrain is very mature. We have the average age around 22 years for a woman to be married. Husband age is a very interesting, 65, 32, 37. The level of education for these kind of people is 80% is high school and above. Husband employment is basically full-timers, managerial skill, which is about almost half of the study, which is, it's have a different attribute, the study. The husband working sectors, 35% is a public, 60% is a private. It's a good mixture of really, you know, of the study, because a lot of studies talk, okay, you are only looking at public, you don't looking at private. This study is looking at both dimensions. The average income, okay, surprisingly, is 40% is between 300 to 800 BD, and 800 to 1,000 BD is about 1/3. Now, the children, 36%, around 40% said they have children. Interestingly, as you know, the literature is saying is that the time to travel to your work is make really factors on your stress level. In Bahrain, since it's a small country, majority of the people participate in this study said that is about 23%, about 92% that take them 23 minutes to reach to their job. So it's not high stress factors like in many countries in the world. Another interesting is that workload heaviness. Almost half said that very heavy to extremely heavy work. So naturally, the work is, is not very demanding in this, is not very heavy. Also, working schedule is 2/3 says not flexible. That means the majority are reporting their work is very flexible. Job satisfaction, 50%, they are somewhere satisfied, somewhat satisfied to completely satisfied. The number of working hours per day is 75%, is 8 hours. Now, I will interpret for you this data later in a minute. When it comes to break time, 2/3 said they have a break times. And when it comes to gender, because it's very important to look at, is it really women like to work with women or women like to work with men? Now, about 35% of the women really work for women. And this is exactly goes with the Women Council data. And manager evaluate employee who stay after work long hours, which is really, this is a phenomena that in psychology people look at it. If I stay longer, I will really impress my boss. 56% says very committed to extremely staying for long hours. Now, managers consider to family issues. 90%. Very interesting. 90% of the people, managers, are really considerate of family matters. So we are a society which we really pay attention to still the family values with all our achievement, which is a good news. Manager accept to take time off for family matter. Somewhere what? Yeah, somewhat or above, which is good news. About 2/3 trying to report to us to tell us that their managers really will allow me to take time off to go pick my child during the working hours or something. Now, is the culture, again, this is another last slide, is the culture of working required to finish the job before you go home, before the working hours? 50% saying, yes, my job required to do that. That means we are still in our society. We balance the concept that the idea you must finish your job and you should go home. So really that's another thing positive. It will ease the stress factor. The failure potential regardless of gender, 70%. We have no problems. Okay, you are a woman, you could be my boss. All right. Time to spend for your hobbies, 35%. Very little time. This is kind of weak area where women are reporting they want to have more time for themselves and their hobbies. This is a negative factor. Quality time with family, again, 30%, very little to none. How stressed are you on your, how stressed you are on money? 60%, they said, yes, money is an issue of stress for us. How clear is your personal career and vision and goal? Almost 50% said that it's almost clear. They know the woman, what they want in their life. They have a very good vision. How stressed you are? 41%, very to extremely stressful. That means almost half of the people. How happy you are? 60% of the women said very happy or extremely very happy. So it's a good news for the man to know that they know how to keep the woman happy. How important is the work balance life counseling service in your organization? 60% fair to extremely important. That means one of the recommendations of this study is basically to create a culture of counseling within the work environment in the society. That means basically because we are a young society, we have grown very fast, we achieved very fast, men and women. This is a time where we look at, these are issues we need to look into it, where we ask the organization, they offer this kind of facility. How important is health and fitness facility to be offered in your organization? Again, 73% fairly, two very important. So another things in this study that mean, another things that organizations should think about, basically introducing what we call a facility of counseling and a facility of fitness. In conclusion, and before we do a conclusion, once we look at these numbers and these ones, we look at them. That's reasons I thought I will not bore you with taking more time. Okay, as a professors, we always love to talk and lectures. Okay, basically, if we look at these numbers and we look at the study from different dimensions, we really could understand that the women in Bahrain, they are really, when it comes to life balance, they are balanced. A woman in Bahrain, there is a need that they need to have, and those needs are a result of the dynamic of the society. And where there are areas where stress is an important and family time important, and also there is a need for women to spend more time for their personal habits and needs. Now, again, in conclusion, as I mentioned, we have the study have give us an insight. It's a good study. It's around 218 people. We will try to continue on it, report next year, more finding, we'll make more analysis. This study is a good reflections of the working women in Bahrain and their work-life balance. Now, where we take this from, and this is always I like to put, a slide when I come and talk in a presentation. What are the tips? So, time to share the tips, and this is basically تبي تخليه ال F9 PF5 last slide. Just thank you. Now basically when we come and we look at the tip, and this is the tip, is basically time to share some tips. So one of the tips that this study could recommend is for a woman is always build a support network. And this is basically from the literatures also. You need to have a support network. Keep a guilt away and try to enjoy your life. Make time for yourself and not only for the husband or the children. Always be organized and prioritize yourself. And by the way, women are basically one of their greatest achievements, and they could do better job than men because they are able to handle multitask. They really could do it. Quality time with family. So one of the tips could be said here is that when you go out in a lunch, make sure you have a quality time and you don't take your work or your mobile with you. Build an excellent communication skill with all the parties, with the workers, with husband, with children, with colleague. Create harmony in your life. Accept what you got and build and improve it. Multitask and delegations. Now, many of the people like things now, you know what? I want to go up to the ladder. I want to be the next CEO. So to do that, I must be the master of everything. The idea is that the more you delegate, the more you will be more successful and less stress. Keep journals of your achievement, because sometime when you have a bad moment, you go and you reflect on them and you see your achievement. Coaching is a great way to have a support, and that's where organization need to look at. Once again, I would like to thank you all. I hope that I was able to give you a good insight on a very interesting topics. And this topics is basically topics that we basically love to share with you in the coming times. And I hope I was able to demonstrate one thing, that as well as we have a woman career and life balance, we also looking now lately at men. We find that men are really having also this problem. And I'm conducting a study also. So far I'm collecting the data. Maybe next year or year after I will report my finding. But also this phenomena is not only limited to women, it's also men find it very difficult. And men find it is really difficult to balance between their career and their family. And frankly speaking, I am one of them, because it's very important for me. I balance my career, my family, and everything. My advice, think of it of one way. It's an equation. Success is an equation of multiple variables. And those variables have a different magnitude or amount of data variables. If when you achieve them, it could go up and down, the outcomes is happiness. So each one of us have a different way of interpreting balance. Thank you. If there is any question.